They vowed more mass actions and they are carrying out their threats over prolonged closure of public universities in Nigeria. Members of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, stormed the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, to mount pressure on the federal government to resolve the 7-month-old strike by Academic Staff Union of University, ASUU. The students carrying placards with various inscriptions blocked one of the access roads to the airports, causing gridlock on the busy airport and Mobolaji Bank Anthony roads. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives is set to meet with ASUU and other stakeholders towards finding lasting solutions to the lingering strike. Jide, yesterday they actually were at the Lagos-Ibadan, Shagamu end of Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, and today it became more effective and pronounced. And that's like as you're getting into the country, that's the first contact you're going to make. I saw some travelers earlier today. They had to disembark from their vehicles in order not to miss their flight. They were walking under the rain, and it's a big one. They've made a big statement today, those students.
Yes. I think that
some people will lose their flight, will miss their flight today.
Yes, yes. And you know, this is not the time to miss your flight.
Yeah.
Because it may be just that flight for the day. Those of us who travel recently will know how difficult it is. If you miss your flight now, you may have to come back the next day.
Talk of international flights.
Yeah. So I think it has reached the point that Nigerians, people who have the voice, should appeal to President Muhammadu Buhari to put an end to this strike. He's the one who can end the strike. Abusing the Minister of Education, abusing the little man who is the Minister of Labor is a waste of time. It is the president that can end the strike. And the buck stops at his desk. The reason I say it's the president that can end this strike is what the Minister of Education said, I think sometime last week, when he said that he was going through some turmoil from his inside, meaning that he's going through a lot of inner pain that Nigerians do not know. Some of the decisions that can be taken to put an end to this rubbish strike are beyond him. The big decisions that can end this strike are beyond Ngige. In fact, lately, Ngige has not been talking again. I don't know.
I think he has given up.
Maybe somebody told him to button up his mouth. Ngige has not been talking again. And clearly, you look at some of those decisions. The VCs, the Committee of VCs said recently that only the president can take the decision to migrate from IPPIS to UTAS. But the situation we find ourselves now is, okay, they are not saying it has to be UTAS anymore. Within the university system, other striking or other unions that were on strike along with ASUU back then, they also came up with their own payment platform. And ASUU is saying, okay, conduct a test for all of these, on all of these platforms that will come up with.
Choose.
And we will agree for the best to be the new payment platform for academic staff. That was their decision. They are yet to release the result of the test. So that one is crucial to the resolution of this matter, because ASUU said from the beginning that if they would listen to them on 2 grounds, renegotiation of the 2009 agreement and replacing IPs with UTAS, that they will go back to school, to teach. They are not even talking about other demands. like and academic allowance and all that. No, the increment in salaries and all that will be part of what will come out of the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement. But we've seen Neme Briggs come up with his own report. Clearly, what Neme Briggs has come up with, government cannot pay. But my anger with government was that for a long time, I suspected that they could not pay. But why didn't you even come out early to say, you just kept quiet on the report? You didn't talk for a long time. Until just, I think, a couple of weeks back when they started talking about that they cannot meet those demands. But let's have a proper meeting. Tell ASUU this is what we can do. Talk to them, get them to realize that, look, it is our country's image that is at stake.
Honestly.
What you can do is this, come to a kind of middle ground. No. But you can't simply dismiss their efforts because you think if they suffer after some 6 months without collecting salary, maybe they will start dropping out. As we speak, the big universities, the heavy hitters, when you're talking about IFE and the rest of them, they refuse to end strike. State universities may end strike.
The Unilag IFE, Ibadan.
No, they are suffering. A friend of ours, you know him now, who is a lecturer, he said, Jide, we are suffering, but we will not agree. No, this is the thing.
It's about principle.
Yes. And this is the second longest strike in ASUU history.
And just imagine, a new one, the new dimension here is that the government is saying no work, no pay.
Yeah, that was the last straw. Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying that, look, before now, after calling off the strike and everything, that they will get all the outstanding bonuses and everything, but it seems the federal government doesn't want to budge.
The president that doesn't want it.
I think the problem we have is that the president is no longer at home when it comes to issues like this. Since he made that statement about appealing to them to come back to work and then giving that order that they said was not an order, was an advice, about 3 weeks, nothing has been said. Yet I know that a committee of pro-chancellors,
yes, he met them.
They met with them.
And he said the consultation will continue. Yeah. Maybe he will still meet VCs.
And some people thought that by today, and when they went to court, to the industrial court, we thought they were looking for a soft landing. So everybody will go away happy while we go back to the negotiation table. But industrial court itself seems to be postponing inevitable. And so I think somebody in government somewhere, either he doesn't see this as something that will affect him, since he has no more elections to run. But just pushing the ball forward to whoever inherits it. Because 3 weeks ago, I was so optimistic that a solution will be got before the 1st of October. But I'm afraid that on October 1st speech, this matter will be a major plank of what the president will talk about and still appeal to us. And I'm willing to bet on it. Because by then, because the most respected academics in Nigeria today are now involved. Committee of past vice chancellors, those old men in their 80s, all great.
It's a matter of principle. You can see even one of the best ways by which I think we could resolve this is to look at the report of the committee of VCs.
Yeah.
I think that anybody who's objective, you can't say those VCs are pro-ASUU.
At all.
Many of them even hate ASUU members in their schools. But they have come up after the meeting with the minister. You know, they met, they and the pro-chancellor met with the minister. They sat down. I think the minister appealed to them. Yes, they appealed to them to help find a solution. They sat down and then made a presentation. That presentation, in my view, there's nothing wrong about it. You can't escape from increasing the salaries of academic staff in the university, especially when, since 2009, they've not received salary increment. Yes, there was minimum wage. You can say, okay, minimum wage added bits and pieces.
Okay. I have my first caller, Adeturu from Lagos.
Hello?
Yes. Thank you for joining us, Toro.
Good evening. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
the federal government does not know the implication of its actions. You see, this strike that these people are toying with, I'm even surprised that NANS is just coming up now. It's like there is nothing called NANS until this time. The federal government was saying that it's illegal for NANS to block a highway. What is going through? The implication of this is not this year, it's not next year. Look at the case of, if I would agree, the case of Boko Haram. The people, they killed their father, killed their mother, and turned into orphans. It will make, can you tell me that they will be friendly with the country in future when they grow up? Those people, would they be kind to this country? Would they not go in the same terrorism that, they means an orphan unexpectedly? Look, the way we are doing with this ASUU strike is as if the federal government has forgotten what happened when...
Thank you, Adetoro. The House of Representatives, led by Speaker Femi Gbadebo, has called for a stakeholders meeting and we want to meet with it. And we said it earlier that it's only Mr. President.
It's only the president. See,
because what...
I pity the House of Reps when they sit down, they call people, and at the end of the day, look at how much time the Deputy House of Reps Speaker, Ahmed Wase, look at how much time he had with aviation workers, the airline operators of Nigeria. You saw those stories. When the fares first went up astronomically in response to hike in price of aviation fuel. The suggestions that he brought, the suggestions that they came up with, how many of them have been implemented? This man who owns Airpeace, Oyema, said, let us buy this thing. Give us licenses. Let's bring in this product by ourselves. Have they agreed? They spend so much time. Today, the price of aviation fuel is higher than that time when Ahmed Wase called those people to a meeting. So what has been achieved? So this is my issue now. What are we going to gain from this meeting by the House of Reps? Is the president who can solve this problem?